Hello and welcome to the BCTC Online Learner Orientation. My name is Morgan Dow. I'm the Director of Online Education and Student Success here at BCTC. If you ever have any online learning or online course related questions or issues, you can always get in touch with our online learning department by emailing bl-onlinelearning@kctcs.edu. That's that email address that you see on the screen there. So what are we talking about today? We're going to go through the main tools that you'll be using as an online student here at BCTC. We'll also talk about all of the resources that you have access to, even if you are a fully remote student who never comes to campus. And we'll wrap things up by talking about some of the qualities and characteristics of successful online students. So first, let's just do a little rundown of the main online tools that you'll use while taking online courses here at BCTC. First of all is MyPath. This is the home of all BCTC online tools. So MyPath is how you will access all of these other things: Blackboard, email, student self-service. MyPath is something that you log into using your student username and password. So it's something that you'll have access to once you set up your student account. Next, we'll talk about Blackboard. Blackboard is the online home of all of your BCTC courses. So whether you're taking an in-person course, a hybrid course, or a fully online course, all of those courses will have a home on Blackboard that you can go to where you can access the syllabus and instructor information, all of the important information for your course. If it's an online course, then everything about your course will be housed on Blackboard. So all of the assignments, any lecture videos, reading, all of the course content will be on Blackboard since you don't have any in-person class meetings. We'll also take a look at your student email. This is where you'll get official communication from the college. You'll get emails from all of your instructors. So this is something that you should make sure that you have access to, and something you should be checking regularly before the semester starts, and then absolutely once the semester starts. We'll take a look at student self-service. You might also hear this called PeopleSoft. And this is our official student record administration. This is used by all KCTCS colleges in the system. So this is where you can do things like see your unofficial transcript, you can view your class schedule, you can view your midterm and final grades for all of your courses. It's also where you'll have official tasks from the college, so financial aid related forms to fill out. It's where you can view your bill, your financial account, things like that. And we'll take a look at Teams, which is a Microsoft program that you have access to as a student that is used for virtual meetings and messaging here at the college. And we'll take a look at Starfish, which is a program that we use for tracking student success and student concerns here at BCTC across different departments and different organizations within BCTC. It's also a program that you can use to raise your hand to get help. So let's go ahead and actually look at some of these tools. So here we are on BCTC's homepage. We're at bluegrass.kctcs.edu. And in order to access all of these tools we talked about, we're going to go to MyPath. You can access MyPath in the top left corner of BCTC's homepage. So I go ahead and I click on MyPath, and that's going to open up this website right here. Once we open up MyPath, we see some of these tools that we talked about right away. We see Blackboard, we see email, and we see student self-service. I have a couple extra tiles because I'm an employee, but you should see these 3 tiles once you open up MyPath and log in using your student username and password. If you haven't already, I would highly recommend going ahead and bookmarking MyPath on your computer that you're using for schoolwork, just so that you have that shortcut and you can get here quickly. If you scroll down a little bit, that's where you'll be able to access starfish. And again, we'll talk about starfish in a little bit. Let's start by talking about Blackboard. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Blackboard. Again, Blackboard is the online home of all of your courses here at BCTC. So I'm going to start off on the left-hand side here by clicking on Courses. And you can see I've favorited a couple of courses up at the top here. That just keeps them pinned to the top. But just below that, I can see my courses for fall of 24, so the current semester where I'm recording this. The first course that I want to draw your attention to is the online learning orientation. So as soon as you register for courses, you should also be automatically registered for this online learning orientation course. If for some reason you go into your Blackboard and you do not see that course there, you should go ahead and email that online learning email that I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, because that just means that there's probably been some error with getting you automatically enrolled, and so we can do that manually to get you in there. If you're having trouble searching through all your courses, you can always use this search bar up top here. You could search orientation, and that'll bring up the orientation course if you are enrolled in it. So if you are new to Blackboard, if you've never used Blackboard before, or maybe you did, but you felt a little unsure, had a really hard time, I would highly, highly recommend completing this online learning orientation. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And when we click on any course in Blackboard, it automatically brings us to the content section of the course. And the content is all of the actual course content that you as a student will be working through. So reading that you need to complete, videos to watch, any assignments to do. In this online learning orientation, we get to the course content here, and right at the top is the Start Here module. That is the first thing that you should click on. That's where you should start. So I'm going to click on that, and a little drop down opens up with all of the items and documents within that Start Here module. I can get started by clicking on Course Overview. Here's some material for me to read, and then when I'm ready to move on, I can click Next in the top right corner here. And now on this next page, we see there's a brief video for me to watch. There's a PDF guide for me to download if I want to do that. And again, when I'm ready to move on to the next course item, I can click the Next button in the top right corner here. Your Blackboard courses will keep track of your progress. So you can see here it's showing me I've started 3 out of the 6 items in this module, and I can see those items here as well. I haven't clicked on everything inside of here. That's why it's showing it as partially complete. Once I've finished everything in the Start Here module and it's all complete and I've completed my first quiz, then I would be ready to move on to Module 1. Module 1 will unlock once I've completed the Start Here module. The online learning orientation, as I said, it's accessible to all students who are enrolled in an online course. You should be automatically enrolled in this. If you're not, please reach out. But it is not mandatory. So this is just here if you'd like to complete it. You're not required to. Okay, so I'm going to close this course by clicking the X in the top left here. And then I'd like to go ahead and take a look at an example class, so an actual class that looks like something you might take during the semester. Let's go ahead and take a look at a course. We'll take a look at a course that I taught previously. So we're going to take a look at an FYE 105 class. Many of you might end up taking FYE 105. It's a requirement for Associate in Science and Associate in Arts degrees. So here we are in the FYE 105 course that I taught last spring. And even though every class FYE, English 101, biology, whatever class you're taking might look slightly different, from instructor to instructor, from department to department. They will have some core things in common. So we're going to talk about those things right now. The first thing that you will see right at the top of the course is the Student Quick Introduction to Blackboard. This is like a super micro mini version of the Blackboard orientation that I just showed you. It's just a short video that you can watch that kind of gives you a real quick overview of Blackboard. So that's there for you if you'd like to view it. And then the most important thing for you to look at when you first go into your course here on Blackboard is to go into the Start Here module. Most of the time it will be named Start Here. It could be named something else like Introduction or Welcome, but it should be the first module towards the top of the course content in your Blackboard course. So you go ahead and you click on Start Here, and again it opens up all of these documents for you to view. All of these documents are going to be there no matter what course you're taking. So there will always be a course overview, a syllabus and schedule, grading policy. All of these will be contained within the Start Here module. The Start Here module is there to get you off to a good start in the course, to make sure that you are informed and you understand how the course is going to be working, so that you can move forward confidently into the actual learning and course content and assignments part of the semester. So you should always get started with the Start Here module and move through these documents in order. You start by clicking on the course overview. So I'm going to click on that. And you can see it gives information about the course, and your instructor may include a little welcome video that shows you how to navigate the course and talks about submitting assignments, due dates, policies in the class, that kind of thing. And when you're ready to move to the next item, you could click Next in the top left, top right corner here, or you can click the X and move on to the next item you want to click on here in the list. So here in the syllabus and schedule, you can download a copy of the course syllabus, which you should absolutely do. You should download a copy of the course syllabus and you should read it thoroughly. By enrolling in the course and participating in the course, you are agreeing to all of the information and policies in the syllabus. So you want to make sure that you read it and you understand it. If you read the syllabus and you have questions about what's in there, you should absolutely reach out to your instructor. And then the course schedule will also be available separately for you to download. This will be a list of all of the assignments and due dates throughout the semester to help you keep track of what you're doing, and also for you to get an idea of, how often are things due, what are kind of the expectations, what's the pace of this class. The grading policy is also included in the Start Here module. This is something that will be pulled out of the syllabus separately, just to make sure that you really understand how your grade will be put together in this course. Again, this is something that after you read through this thoroughly, you should let your instructor know if you have more questions. And then one of the most important things in the Start Here module is the course instructor information. So you should make sure you click on this and view the contact information for your instructor. Especially when taking an online course, you don't have any scheduled face-to-face meetings with your instructor. You need to know how to contact your instructor. Just because there's no class meetings doesn't mean there's no class instructor. You have an instructor. They're there to help you. They're there to answer your questions. They're there to make sure that you learn and have success in the course. So you need to know how to reach out to them. As you can see in this course that I taught, I've got my contact information right at the top there. There's a little bit of information about me. And then there's details about how to get in touch with me. So my number one preference is email, and then there's some instructions there for just what information you should include when you're emailing me. I talk about Blackboard messages, scheduling online appointments. There's information about my office hours there. Depending on who is instructing your course, they may have regular scheduled weekly office hours that you can attend, or you may just need to make an appointment. But you are always welcome to make an appointment with your instructor. You just reach out to them. And then the rest of the information in here is all related to various resources that you might need to use throughout the length of the course. There's information about tutoring, library services, IT services, accessibility services. So that's the Start Here module. And again, you really want to make sure that you thoroughly read all of the information in there. It has been very carefully put together to make sure that it's the most important information you need to know to get off to the right start. And then underneath the Start Here module, you will finally get to the actual course content. So in this particular course, we've got a couple more links here, and then we get to module 0, which is where the actual assignments and things start. Again, modules might be named a little bit differently depending on the course you're taking, but in general, the way that you move through the course content is, you start at the top, you work your way down. You should see things in the order that you're supposed to interact with them and submit them. So if you were taking this course, you would move on to module 0. There's a module overview. If I click on that, it gives me information about what I'm going to be doing in this module. It tells me what are the assignments that I'm going to be completing. And then below that module overview, I can see the actual 3 assignments that I need to submit, and I can see their due dates here as well. Once I finished module 0, then I would be ready to move on to the next module. In this particular class, all of the work is done actually inside of Blackboard, but you might be taking an online class that uses a separate program or a separate software. All of that information will be included in the Start Here module, and probably in other locations throughout the course as well. So you may be like clicking a link that takes you to a separate web page where you're working through your homework and videos and activities. But the starting point for you should always be Blackboard. Okay. So that's all of the content in a Blackboard course. Another important thing for you to be able to access in your Blackboard course is the gradebook. So the gradebook you can get to along the top here. If you click gradebook, you should see a list of all of the assignments in the course with their due dates, and then also the status. So whether you've turned the assignment in, whether it's been graded. You can see here all of these assignments are past due for me because I was the instructor. I didn't submit any of these assignments. You should also be able to view your grades once your instructor posts the grades, as well as an overall grade. Depending on the course, your instructor might keep all of the grading information here on Blackboard, or they might be using gradebook or grading information on a separate website if you're using like a separate software. So make sure that you are reading the grading policy thoroughly and you're reaching out to your instructor if you have any questions about it. It should always be clear to you what your status is in a course, like what your grade is. If you've read the syllabus and you've read all of your instructor's communications about grading and you still have questions about what your grade is or where you stand, that's a great time to reach out to your instructor and ask about that. Okay, so that is a little peek inside of a Blackboard course, looking at the course content, the Start Here module, how to get into the actual coursework, and where to find your grade information. So next we're going to take a look, we're going to return to BCTC's homepage here. And again, the way that we would access all of these tools is by going to the top left corner and clicking My Path. That'll open up My Path here. Next, we're going to take a look at student self-service. So that's this third tile here. Again, this is kind of your official record here within the KCTCS system. I'm going to click on student self-service, and that would open up this home page here. You'll see all of these different tiles in student self-service. And they all do slightly different things. I will say that this software is not the most straightforward. So if you're trying to do something in student self-service and you are a little bit confused about what you need to do or whether or not it's working, it's probably not you. It's probably the software itself. So do not hesitate to reach out to somebody for extra help if you're just not sure where to find anything. Again, this is where you find your student record information and official kind of student tasks, financial related tasks for you to do. If you go ahead and click on Student Center, this is where you can view your schedule for the semester. It's where you can find your advisor information. So here I've clicked on my Student Center tile. I can see my schedule for the semester here at the top, and down in the bottom right corner here, if I were to scroll down, I would see my assigned advisor and their contact information. This is also where I could find my grades. If I go to other academic information and scroll down here, I can click grades, and that'll bring up my official midterm and final grades for my courses once those have actually been submitted by my instructors. Also from the home page here, you can manage any tasks that you have to do. So these could be like financial aid releases that you need to complete. These could be if you have a bill that's due, you need to set up a payment plan, those tasks will show up here. So it's very important to check your tasks before the start of the semester, but certainly at the start of the semester if you haven't already. There can be things here that might prevent you from enrolling in courses. So you want to make sure that you are checking your tasks and taking care of those official forms and things that you need to fill out. And this is also where you can access your student account and billing information and financial aid information. On the student homepage, you will also see a college success survey. It might flash at you sometimes when you open up the page. I really encourage you to take a few minutes to fill out that survey. Our student success and retention department actually does look at all of the survey feedback, and we use that information to help inform changes and improvements that we make here at BCTC based on our students' needs and our student feedback. So we really do look at that information, and we appreciate you taking a few minutes to fill that out. Okay, so let's return to my path here. The next online tool that I want to talk about is email. So here I've got the email tab. I can go ahead and click on that, and it'll open up my student email. If I want to go ahead and compose an email, I can click New Mail. And let's say I wanted to contact my instructor. So let's say, I'm in FYE 105 and my instructor is Morgan Dow. I'm going to email my instructor. And in the subject line, I'm going to include the course section, the course number and the course section, so FYE 105. And I know that I'm in section 19P9. That information is great because it helps your instructor quickly locate what class you're talking about. Your instructor might be teaching 4 or 5 different classes, and so they need to know, okay, which class are you talking about here? And then I'm going to include a grading. I'm going to include my student ID. Just going to make one up here. And then, right, you could go ahead and type your question, and then we go ahead and sign off, right? Thank you. Oop, make sure I turn off my caps lock there. We don't want that. So making sure that you include your full name, your student ID, and then whatever question or concern that you have. That's student email. Your email is also something that you can access from your phone. You would download the Microsoft Outlook app and put that on your phone, and then you would sign in using your student email and password. You can also put the Blackboard app on your phone. There's an instructor version of that app and a student version of that app, so just make sure you're using the student version of that app. Again, you would sign into that using your student username and password. Especially putting that email app on your phone, that's going to make it a lot more likely that you check your student email regularly throughout the week. That's very important to do. The Blackboard app is something that, right, you can check your courses, you can submit assignments through your phone. I wouldn't recommend doing all of your coursework only on your phone. It's going to make things really hard. It's really hard to keep track of everything you'd need to do using only your phone. So if you don't have access to a computer or a laptop, I highly recommend contacting our library services to look into a laptop loan. You can borrow a laptop from the library. We're going to take a look at that in a moment. But you can put that Blackboard student app on your phone so you have some quick, convenient, on-the-go access to all of your course information. So we talked about Blackboard, we talked about email and student self-service. I did also want to touch on Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is something that you could access anytime you see this, we call it the waffle, in the top left corner here. That means you're like logged into a Microsoft program. It's the actual name is the App Launcher. So you could access it here from My Path. You can also access it from your Outlook, your email. If you click on this, it opens up all of the Microsoft programs that you have access to. So you can, write an essay using Word. You can put together a presentation using PowerPoint. You can also access Teams. And Teams is what we use for virtual online meetings here at BCTC. It's also something you can use to send a quick chat message to an instructor or another student. And you can access that chat function over here. And you can also use it to join meetings. If you go to the calendar, you should see any meetings that you've joined. Or if you go to calls, you can join a meeting that way if you have a link. So that's Microsoft Teams. And then, as I mentioned before, you can also access Starfish from your My Path. If you scroll down a little bit, you should see a Starfish button a little bit further down the screen. If I click on Starfish, you're not going to see the student view, so we're not going to actually look at it right now. But let's return to our presentation. And in that presentation, I've included this link. I click on this link, and that's going to open up a page we have on our BCTC website that gives information about Starfish and tells you as a student how you can use it. So there's a Starfish introduction for students video here that you have access to that shows you how you can use Starfish, and there's also some frequently asked questions. And then if you're having any issues with Starfish or want to learn more, there's an email address. You can contact our Success and Retention Department for help with Starfish. But Starfish is something that all of your instructors will be using throughout the semester, so it's something you will interact with. It's also something that you can use if you would like to raise your hand and get extra help that way. Okay. So we took a look here at all of the main online tools that you'll be using as an online student here at BCTC, or really as any student. Even if you don't take any online classes, you'll still probably interact with most of these tools here. Next, I want to take a look at resources that are available to you as a student here at BCTC. Even if you are a fully online student who never comes to campus, you can still access all of BCTC's resources virtually, on the website or over the phone. Well, all of BCTC's resources except maybe like intramural sports. You're not going to be playing intramural soccer virtually, but everything else you do have access to virtually or over the phone. And I've included links here to some of the main resources that might be helpful to you, especially as an online student. So I would say resources to bookmark, especially if you're an online student, would be our IT help desk. So if you're having any computer issues, Blackboard issues, email issues, password issues, right, you want to know how to get in touch with IT. I'm going to go ahead and click on this link. It brings me to a page that we have on our BCTC website that just gives you information about how you can get in touch with IT. You don't have to come to campus in order to get that IT help. We also have tutoring available virtually. So again, this is on our BCTC website here. If I click on tutoring schedules, that brings me to our Penji app, which we use for scheduling tutoring appointments. And you can schedule a virtual tutoring appointment from here. So you do not have to come to campus in order to get tutoring. We have really extensive tutoring hours available. You can get free tutoring help for your class even if you are not coming to campus. I highly encourage you to make use of this tutoring. It's something that you're paying for, right? This is part of what your tuition goes towards, so you should make use of it. Tutoring is available as well as writing help. So if you have any kind of writing assignment in your courses, it doesn't have to be a full essay, it could be anything that you're writing, you can get help with that from our writing center. They have virtual appointments as well as email assistance. And then we also have our library services. So you can chat with a librarian on the website. You could give them a call, you can email them. And this is also where you can access technology loans. So if you do need a laptop, you could contact the library about borrowing a laptop for the semester. If we scroll down here, we see that laptop request form. You can go ahead and click on that. We also have our technology in request form, and you can see here there's a chat function that's opening up here where you can chat with the library. You can also always email or call our advising department, our billing department, our financial aid department, as well as all of our non-academic services. So we've got counseling services available to students here at BCTC. That means you can get therapy appointments here as a BCTC student. If you have something that you're struggling with, if you need help, we are here for you. You can schedule a virtual counseling session. We also have group workshops that are available for students. So you can register for workshops. And you can also schedule an advising appointment, as well as they have all of this additional mental health, mental wellness information here on the website. So all of that is available to you virtually. We can also help with essentials such as food and daily necessities through the BCTC Heart Pantry. You can get you can request items and have them sent to some of our regional campuses to help with accessing them. We've got childcare assistance that you can sign up for. You can get assistance finding health insurance. And then we also have lots of student organizations that you can access virtually that have virtual meetings. Again, you can't join intramural sports virtually, but a lot of our other student organizations you can get involved with, even if you are a fully online student. You can see here there's all these organizations and their contact information here. I highly encourage you to get involved. Students who are involved in organizations on campus tend to be more successful. You know, we all do better and feel better if we are part of a community and we've got a village around us. So even if you are not able to come to campus, you can still participate in campus life here at BCTC. If you want a one-stop shop for access to all of these resources, that would be our Your Access to Student Success site. I've got it linked here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it brings us here. And this is really where if you have already bookmarked my path, I would say this is the second thing to bookmark as your one-stop shop for all BCTC resources. If you're like, oh, I need to get in touch with IT, I need to contact advising, I need the link to tutoring, all of that stuff is here and it's kept updated for you. So we have links to academic resources, we have links to get your semester off to the right start. We've got links to all of our non-academic resources. So again, things like counseling and the Heart Pantry, further community resources. Additional things that you might need throughout the semester, preparing for next semester, right? Scheduling classes, contacting your advisor, all of these things that you might need are kept all in one place. And then we also have a page here dedicated specifically to online learning. You can see that at the end of this list here. The online learning page is constantly being updated by me. We've got tutorials and how-tos. We've got information about online learner orientation events coming up. So you can also access that here and check it regularly. All right. So that's a quick rundown of the resources that are available to you here as a BCTC student. Again, I'm going to, in addition to this recording, you'll have access to a copy of this presentation. So you'll have access to links to these sites that I've linked to here. But that Your Access to Student Success site is really what I would bookmark and what I would start with if you want like one place to find all these resources. So the third section of what we're talking about today is being successful in online classes. So what are some of the things that you'll need? What are some of the qualities of a successful online student? Let's start there. So a successful online student is someone who's confident using a computer and writing email. You know, that's how you're going to be completing your coursework is with the computer. So you need some basic computer skills and confidence with using the computer. You don't have to be an expert on all of the programs that you're going to be using, but you do need to have a little bit of experience with using computers, some basic typing skills, things like that. You should be someone who learns well and likes reading on a screen and watching videos, because that's the main way that you'll be learning your course content. You should be someone who can create and follow a consistent weekly study schedule. You're not going to have that structure of going to class every week, and so you need to be able to create that structure for yourself, because you're still going to have due dates that you need to meet each week. And a successful online student is also someone who asks for help early and often. So just because you don't have a teacher standing right there in front of you, looking you in the eyes and saying like, oh, any questions, right? You still need to ask questions. You still need to reach out and ask for help. So you need to reach out to your instructor. You also need to feel confident knowing how to find the extra support like tutoring, like IT help. what are the materials that you need for an online class? Well, you need a laptop or a desktop computer that's in good working order and that you can access daily. That might mean that you borrow one from BCTC. You need fast and reliable internet for your classes. You need some kind of system for taking notes and storing your class materials. So are you going to be writing notes in a notebook? Are you going to be typing them up in a document? Where are you going to be keeping all these notes and class materials? You also need somewhere that's quiet and comfortable where you can study and focus. Maybe you're lucky enough to have a home office that you're using, but it doesn't have to be that. Could be a kitchen table, a bedroom. Maybe you're just using the break room at work. You could also be coming to BCTC's library to find a quiet space to work, or maybe a public library that's near you. And then extra materials that you may need is a webcam for joining virtual meetings. And then you'll probably want some headphones for listening to audio or watching video. And then you might want a calculator if you're taking a math or science course. A calculator might be handy for some of those. With online classes, we also want to understand the time commitment. Online classes offer a lot of flexibility. They can be really appealing for busy people like we all are, right? But I think sometimes we underestimate how much time online classes can take. So in some ways they do save us time because we're not commuting back and forth to campus. But they can require just as much time and sometimes more as an in-person class. That's because you're going to be spending time learning on your own, right? You're not going to have the teacher right there to help you immediately. So you might need to spend a little bit of extra time with the material figuring things out. You're also going to have to figure out how to navigate your online course, right? Maybe you're using like software that you've never used before. You're also going to spend time reading and responding to messages from your instructor, and probably you'll spend more time troubleshooting technology issues than with an in-person class because you're going to be submitting all these assignments online and you're going to be doing it kind of at home on your own. So you'll maybe spend more time working on those technology issues, getting in touch with IT, things like that. So for a typical 3-credit online course, and 3 credits is like a standard online college class, you could expect to spend about 3 hours per week watching lecture videos or reading class materials. That's equivalent to spending 3 hours per week in the classroom for an in-person class. And then on top of that, you can expect to spend an extra 6 to 9 hours per week working on assignments. Some classes might require more time from you in order to be successful. So have that as part of your expectation. You might need to put more time in. And of course, you could have classes that are a little bit easier, more straightforward for you, and you are spending less time on them. But you can expect to spend 9 to 12 hours per class each week throughout the semester. I showed you towards the beginning of this presentation the online learning orientation, or the Blackboard orientation, that you have access to as a course in Blackboard. Again, I highly encourage you to access that and work through it if you're new to Blackboard. We talked about connecting with your instructor, reaching out to your instructor, right? Even though you're in an online class, you do have an instructor who is paid to help you. So they are there to make sure that you're learning, that you're having a positive experience with the course. And I want to wrap up today just by saying that there is always someone who can help. Even if the first person that you contact, you don't hear back from them, or maybe you're confused by their answer, you're just having trouble getting the information you need, reach out to someone else. So you're having trouble contacting your instructor, you're confused about a financial aid email that you received, you're not sure how to register for classes next semester even though you feel like you should know how to do that. Keep asking, keep reaching out until you find the answers that you need. Again, you're always welcome to contact us here in the online learning department. That's bl-onlinelearning@kctcs.edu, and we will do our very best to help you. We're very glad that you're here at BCTC and taking online classes. We hope you have a really positive learning experience with us, and we look forward to working with you.